What's up everyone, I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some potentially broken weapons that are coming in Season 2 of New World. For those of you who don't know, New World Database just published the full list of new weapons and armors coming to the live version of the game. Again, these are currently on the PTR, so there's probably a pretty good chance that they're going to be adjusting this before it hits the live version. But regardless, the combination of some of these perks are very, very unique and honestly goes against the crafting rules that are currently in the live version. I'm going to dive a little bit closer into this, but again, take a closer look. Keep your eyes on this because if it's not updated by the time it hits the live version, there's some huge potential to change the game and potentially even break it with some of these combinations of different perks on these weapons. So let's dive in and take a closer look. So like I mentioned before, in the current crafting system in New World, each perk has a separate label, and you cannot have the same labeled perk twice on the same piece of equipment. So for example, we cannot have a weapon that has both enchanted and rogue on it. And at the same time, we cannot have something that has mortal lifesteal and mortal energy on it. It's against the rules right now in the world of crafting, but a lot of these new Sandworm raid rewards go completely against these rules and potentially provide some overpowered weapons. So again, this might change, but let's take a closer look at these broken weapons that I'm talking about. First up, we've got the, I'm going to butcher this, the Slurite Stinger, which is a spear. You can get this from the Elite Trial, and what's interesting about this is that you get both Enchanted and Rogue on the same spear, and Enfeebling Skewer, which is arguably by far the best weapon perk you can get on the spear itself, especially for PvE content. If this hits the live version, this is essentially the go-to piece when it comes to just typical PvE dungeons and just mutations. The fact that you can stack both Enchanted and Rogue, which would be awesome. Of course, I feel like if you had a specific Bane with Rogue and Enfeebling Skewer, that would probably be a little bit better. But if you kind of want an all-around best in slot PvE spear, this would be the one. Next up, we have the Amulet of Shad-Nishen, which you also can get from the Elite Trial. What's weird about this is that Health Divine, yeah, that's normal, but also Elemental Aversion. So up until this point, you cannot get Elemental Aversion on a piece of jewelry. So we'll see if this sticks around. Maybe it's some sort of bug or issue that'll change down the road. But regardless, this is definitely an area we'll want to keep our eyes on. Next up, this great sword, Cellarite Tusk, right? We've got Enchanted and Trenchant Strikes. Usually you can't have those two together. And then Leeching Crosscut, making this piece overall a great piece of PvE or even PvP weaponry. Next up, Cellarite Epi, right? We've got 31 Dexterity, Enchanted and Rogue again, which should not happen, and Keen Tundo, making this another great potential for PvE content. Following that same pattern, we have Enchanted and Trenchant Strikes on a Great Axe, which is also against the rules of New World crafting, right? But hey, maybe they're changing some things up in Season 2, and if this is the case, it'll definitely change what is considered best in slot across all of the different weapons. But again, this will probably change, but hey, we'll find out soon, right? Next up, Cellarite Stylite, right? This is a sword. It has Vicious and Enchanted. Both are considered in the same perk bucket, which means they typically cannot be together, as well as empowering Leaping Strike, making this again a great all-around weapon. Last but not least, we have a Blunderbuss, and what's interesting about this is that it has Refreshing Move on it. Many of you might remember that several months ago, maybe even closer to a year ago, when Blunderbuss was first released to the game, there was a named item that had Refreshing Move on it, and it was overpowered because each of the bullets procced Refreshing Move. Now even today in the live version, when I try to craft something, I can see that I cannot add Refreshing Move to my crafted Blunderbuss. Just to prove that I have the item, I'm going to do the same thing to the bow. Right here, Star Metal Weaponsmith's Charm, I can craft it with Refreshing Move. Back to the Blunderbuss, there's no option for this. We'll see if this sticks in the game. I doubt it will, but if it does, it will definitely break a few things here and there. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe because I've got a lot more content coming soon.